Give the folks some more of the details now. We're just about 3 days away, maybe a little bit less now. You'll be heading up there. It's a pretty lengthy flight, 6-7 hours, but you'll make the flight up there and you'll be there. And what are some of the details? Do we have a time, a location, how this is all going to play out, where they're going to meet?
Yeah, believe it or not, Steve, as of right now, and we've been checking throughout the day, we do not have an exact time of this meeting on Friday, nor do we even know the physical location. I know for travel purposes, we've booked, obviously, a flight to Anchorage. We've got a hotel in Anchorage, but we don't know exactly where that meeting is going to take place. And I think they're kind of keeping it under the belt until the point, maybe the day before, if you will, where that's going to be. Now, we're going to fly independently, which means we will not be on Air Force One with President Trump. We're going to go with him on a separate trip, but we are going to be involved in some of the on-ground coverage. And of course, there's the likelihood of a press conference after that meeting with Putin will be huge, and we'll be a part of that. But there really isn't a whole lot of public details at this point, Steve.
Well, you better hope it doesn't end up on ADAC out there at the end of the Aleutian chain or something. You'll miss the meeting. Anyhow, that's a big deal. All right, so let's go to the other big story here in the last 24 hours. And that, of course, President Trump saying, look, we're cleaning this city up. And when we're done here, we might go to Baltimore, we might go to Chicago, we might go to L.A., we might go to New York. He's got a whole list of cities. I think Philly might have been on the list. Doesn't matter. He wants to clean these places up. But let's start with the reaction there on the streets of D.C. You spend a lot of time there. I spend a fair amount of time there. Yeah. And I do look over my shoulder sometimes. I see junkies on the streets. I see hookers at all hours in otherwise good neighborhoods. I don't see murders, but they happen. I mean, Uber drivers get killed there by teenagers. We see those stories, right? So, what's the general reaction?
No, the general reaction is I think the people of D.C. appreciate what President Trump is doing. The only people who don't like it seems like, is the media and the radical Democrats. Why wouldn't you want your city to be safer, cleaner for everyone? It's not a political issue. It's a human issue. And what's interesting to point out is I've seen several of the homeless people in and around the D.C. area, or I should say the White House and the Capitol. They seem to not, and I spoke to one in particular, and they are very aware of what's about to happen, but they do say this, Steve. They have noticed that the crime against them has dropped a little bit. So maybe, maybe there's a hint of this new administration overall is hindering any kind of criminal activity. But if you look at the numbers, the murder rate in D.C. is twice the amount of some of the largest capitals around the world. This is a very dangerous city overall in the country now. We're on track to have one of the lowest murder rates ever recorded as a country. But if you look at D.C., it is dangerous. And President Trump is definitely doing the right thing, Steve. Bringing the National Guard in here, about 800 to be exact, will be deployed now starting today. Now, on the way back to my apartment after today's concluded, I'm going to keep an eye out to see if I see any kind of presence of those guys on the streets. But as far as the citizens are involved, I think they're for this, Steve. I really do.
I would think so. I mean, who is opposed to more law enforcement in their community to make it safer? Who's opposed to getting the gangs and the drugs and the junkies off the streets? Come on. Nobody's opposed to that. Anyhow, Brian Glenn, always good to see you, my friend. We'll talk more, I'm sure, before you go to Alaska. And when you're there, we'll have more. All right. Thank you, Brian.